welcome to this week's little vlog. Last night, Gabriel and I went to the Philadelphia Orchestra for the first time. Gabriel got us tickets to see The Planets by Gustav Holst, and it was absolutely insane. It was a truly transcending experience. I can't explain it to you enough how freaking cool it was. I'm gonna have to like geek out because it was so cool and I thought the experience was so thoughtful. But I also have to pack because Gabriel and I are leaving tonight to drive all the way to Cincinnati, Ohio, because this weekend is my grandmother's 90th birthday. We wouldn't miss it for the world, so we are driving our little butts all the way to Cincinnati for an afternoon and then driving all the way back on Sunday. So it's Friday right now. I have to pack a little weekend bag so that when Gabriel gets off work, we can just hit the road, stop in Washington, Pennsylvania, where we will meet my parents. We'll crash for the night, then we'll all pile into one car the next day and finish the drive out. It's gonna be one heck of a weekend, so you're coming with me on a little road trip. So let's go pack. I'm gonna be using my Baze Weekender bag. I have it in this really pretty olive green color. It's perfect for road trips, so we're gonna pack this up. I'm not really packing too much because this is really just 2 travel days and then a party somewhere in between. So I really just need a party look and then travel clothes. So we're gonna fill her up, and Gabriel and I are gonna try to put all of our stuff in one bag just to condense things down and make it as easy as possible. So here we go. I'm gonna wear this. This is one of my favorite travel outfits. I just wear this Under Armour mock neck gray sweatshirt that used to be Gabriel's, Under Armour Meridian leggings, and then I'll probably throw on some tennis shoes and call it a day. But we need to figure out what we're wearing to Grammy's 90th. So I got this, hold on, I have to button her up, but I got this new top from my Nuuly subscription. I'm obsessed with her. I feel like I hesitate to buy things from Nuuly only because I'm like, well, I could just rent it again, right? But I might have to buy her this really cute, it's kind of like a corset top. It's not really, there's no boning, but the material is just so nice and strong, has great structure that kind of like gives you that feeling. It's so cute. All right, but let me tell you about this orchestra experience, okay? So we get there, it's packed, they're having like a happy hour beforehand. It's so cool, it's so much fun. Everybody's having a good time. We get to the bar, we get ourselves a little wine, Gabriel got a tequila, and then we just go in and we sit in the beautiful auditorium. It's absolutely breathtaking. All the musicians are coming out with their instruments, warming up, tuning, yada yada. Just really cool vibes, honestly. Like, I haven't seen a live orchestra play outside of seeing live theater. I was a choir kid, okay? I definitely attended all of like the middle school, high school choir trips, but I wasn't a band kid, all right? I missed out on what it was like to attend a full orchestra playing live like that. And so the conductor comes out. I don't remember his name right now, which is terrible of me, but he flew in from Europe to play for us. He was an Italian man, and he was just so funny, so charming. They came out to like introduce the piece, and it was so interesting because they were talking about how back when this was written at the turn of the 20th century, I believe is what they said. One, Pluto wasn't a planet yet. They didn't even know about her, so she was not in the lineup. The musical pieces are actually based on a book that the composer was obsessed with at the time, talking all about astrology essentially. So as an astrology girly, I was obsessed with that. They were like, listen, let us know if the music that is assigned to your planet aligns with you at all. I'm a Capricorn, so my planet was Saturn, and honestly, I loved the piece. I thought it was so cool, but my personal favorite, I think, was absolutely the last piece, Neptune. It's just so beautiful and mystic and cool and eerie, and that really hit me. I liked Saturn's music a lot, but it's kind of like looking at yourself in a mirror too close and for too long. You're like, okay, we get it. This top is too cold for January, so we are going to find something to layer underneath it. I don't know what that is yet, but we're gonna figure her out. I got this gorgeous girl from Nuuly, so I think I'm gonna pack her because she's so cozy, and I think that she goes well with the top also. So I might not need to layer it if I have a big chunky sweater over it, so that might be fine, but knowing me, we're going to over prepare. So I'm gonna find something to layer underneath her. Oh, did you like this better? Yeah? Or you want in it? Oh, this is my cat, Cleo. She is so picky. Do you want in it or not? She sometimes burrows, but she really hates it if you watch her do it, so. But my absolute favorite part of the entire experience was that there were visual elements as well. There were 2 screens above the orchestra. On one side, it was the camera of the conductor, because of course his back is to the audience. So you see him, which was really fun because he was just very animated, very full body. And that's what was so cool about this, because I had never truly heard the planets. I listen to a lot of classical music when I'm working, so I encourage you to definitely listen to the planets the next time you're just banging away at a project at work or something, because it was so good. But to go see music in person is just such a different experience and so enlightening. To witness it just feels so emotional, because you have the physicality of the conductor who's giving it his all, and then all the musicians are obviously physically playing their instruments, and so you really feel the music in the space, not just because it's playing, but because it's being played. You see the way that the musicians have to use their body and the urgency in their motions that matches the urgency of the music, or on the other side of the spectrum, how slow and delicate they move. It was so interesting, but I'm getting to it. My absolute favorite part was the fact that on the other screen, they had text for you to read. The text that they had was just so thoughtful and so well orchestrated. It was really incredible. It brought so much to the experience. I really loved it. They had facts about the music you were hearing, that like, oh, this harp that you're hearing over the top here is played in a 2-handed style called this. I don't remember these things, okay? They were fancy words, but it was so cool because you were learning about the music as you were listening, and then you were also learning about the science of music as well. The piece Mars is considered a battle march, and they tell you right off the bat, like, this feels like a battle march. You can feel the urgency and intensity, and that's because the music is played with 5 beats per bar, which I just found so fascinating. I do have like a musical history. I know what sheet music looks like. I can even sight read to a certain extent. I haven't done it in a long time, so honestly, that might be a lie at this point. At one point, there was a super cool and thought-provoking note that they had put up that was like, the melody you're hearing now is the same from the beginning, but does it feel different now that you've heard this middle part that kind of changes the storytelling of the piece, and then therefore makes you feel this identical melody differently? And I was like, wait, that is so cool, because it's the same, and I wouldn't have thought that, because yeah, it did feel different. It felt so enticing, and I loved that they then gave tidbits on how the pieces were interpreted, what you were supposed to feel. My planet, Saturn, it was like Saturn, something of old age. Like, it's supposed to depict the feelings of growing older. So almost 30 really came for us on that one. That was a coincidence I didn't really need, but nonetheless, the universe gave it to us. But at the end of that piece, they said a lot of people who originally heard this piece when it first premiered thought that it depicted old age as this like beautiful, enlightening experience, but then others felt like it was very dark and despairing. And so it was really kind of like, what subconscious beliefs were you bringing to the table, and how did you take away that piece? And it was just really thought-provoking, really freaking cool. We also then got science facts about the planets. We got facts about the instruments. It also occurred to me about halfway through that that text on screen was for deaf people. It was so that the arts and this orchestra experience was accessible to all kinds of people, and I thought that that was so freaking cool, but I also was just so much enjoying it myself and thought that it brought so much to the experience. And I love that they were making the arts so accessible. And at one point they were describing, like, at this point in the song things are building and we're getting this loud blare of the trumpets, and we are getting all 6 French horns. And in my head I was like, there are 6 French horns? Like, this is so cool that there's this many instruments on stage, that we have a full orchestra. And it was really intense. It was really cool. I loved it. And so we're definitely going back. I can't wait. Nothing is more romantic. Gabriel and I just were absolutely so enthralled and involved in what was going on. And it was just a really awesome community as well, because not just anybody goes to see your local orchestra. Like, these are patrons of the arts. Check out your local orchestra. It's such a cute little date night, something to do by yourself, something to take a friend, your partner. It's just such a good time. I highly recommend. Okay, rant over, and now we need to pack. All right, time is ticking and we gotta go. Gabriel got home, and then he's packing while I ran to the grocery to get us some road trip snacks. I already grabbed myself 2 Ollipops. Gabriel wants a Red Bull, and I wanted to treat us to our favorite cookie. Where are they? We love Biscoff cookies. They have these with like a cream filling. That's not the ones we want. We want the ones that you get at the airport. Guys, I'm so sad I don't think they have Biscoff. Okay, but I have been craving some Milanos, especially the dark chocolate kind. So this is what we're gonna get. Perfect. Okay, is this getting ridiculous? Because I don't see a Red Bull. We might resort to an Alani, but I don't see any Red Bull. Okay, we found them. Found them. Okay, we have a lot of sweets, but we need savory. So we're going to the chip aisle. I think we're gonna go with this one. They have lots of options, but I like Doritos and I like Lay's. I don't care about these 3, but none of the others are that good, so we're gonna go for these. Come on. I've got it. Oh yeah, we got it. Would not be a road trip without trail mix. These are Gabriel's favorites. Pick up Gabriel, and then we're hitting the road. We're driving until like midnight, and then we're crashing at a hotel and finishing the rest of the trip in the morning. I will probably do a cute little montage of our little drive, and that's what you're gonna get from me. So I'll see you in the morning.
Laid under the willow tree, the last weekend of summer. The empire at our fingertips, the autumn to discover. If I would have had the worthiness to be the perfect lover, would you stay under the willow tree when I asked if you would be?
Good morning. So it's been a minute since I picked up the camera and chatted, but Gabriel and I went to Ohio and back for my grandmother's 90th birthday, and that was super fun, but I wanted to spend time with family, so I honestly didn't vlog it that much because we don't really get to see our family in Ohio very often. But today is the Super Bowl. The Eagles are playing against the Chiefs, and I happen to live in Philly now, and this is my first year here in this city, so we're a little intimidated by the fan base, so we are just going to stay inside, make some pickle martinis. But right now I'm walking to go get us some chai lattes because our favorite coffee shop for some reason has been out of chai lately, but we both are really craving it. So I'm walking just a little bit further to a chai place. Oh, there's a farmer's market. Okay, we'll walk across the farmer's market as well because how can we not?
Would you be my Valentine? Would you be my Valentine? Still I lie within the memory, devoted as your lover. You could take my hands and cover your eyes and tell me there's no other. Would you be my Valentine? Would you be?
The Eagles have won the Super Bowl. Super cool experience to be here in the city for that. We hollered from our little window like everybody else on our block if they weren't running through the streets. And this morning is the celebration parade, which I didn't know was a thing, but it 100% is here, and literally everybody took off work for it. Like, I swear to God, everybody's gonna be there. So we're just gonna walk from our block down to Broad Street, where the parade will be going through the center of the city all the way up to the art museum. And the closer you get to the art museum, the more intense it gets. So like truly, I have friends who have gone and have been there since like 8 a.m., maybe 5 a.m. No. We are going to walk up just in time to see the parade, meet us at our block, go on by, and then we're coming home. This is that part of the vlog where I read your tarot tarot cards to send you into the week just as your absolute best self at the top of your game, all right? So let's dive into this tarot card pull. I'm gonna try to make this so fast because I feel like at the end of these vlogs, I could just talk about the cards for forever, and then it just takes up way too much of your sweet, sweet, precious time. So we're gonna make this nice and short and sweet. I say that, let's see if it actually works. I made myself some nice little warm chamomile and lavender tea. It's my favorite. I actually drink chamomile in the mornings because I just feel like it helps me de-stress, because I wake up stressed out, right? I wasn't always this way. I don't know what changed, but that's who we are today. So I'm gonna set this down on a book right next to me, which is risky. Let's get into this tarot card pull. We need 3 cards this week. We want a card that represents an energy to lean into. We want a card that represents an obstacle that we will face and then overcome. And then we want our parting words of kindness that we will translate into words of affirmation to help remind you of this message. And just remember, doesn't matter when you're seeing this, all right? You could be seeing it the day it's posted, you could be seeing it 2 weeks later, you could be seeing it a year later. This message found you when it was meant to, so don't overthink it. We're gonna dive right in. Oh, beautiful. We have the Page of Pentacles. Second card, an obstacle that you'll face this week, but that you'll overcome. So let's see what the cards give us. Oh, we have the Six of Swords. Right, last card, we need parting words of kindness to help us keep this message in mind. Oh, okay, there we go, finally. Oh, we are given the King of Pentacles. Beautiful. Okay, so we have our 3 cards, and now that we can read them all in context to each other, let's dive on in. All right, so let's start with this Page of Pentacles. Lean into the energy of being a beginner. And for a lot of people, including myself, that's not a fun place to be, right? Like, I hate being the baby of the group. I'm an eldest sibling. I don't like to feel like the youngest in the room. I did not like ever being a freshman or new to a workplace because I don't like not knowing everything. But there is so much beauty and freedom in being a beginner. Like when it's your first day of work and you can say, I'm sorry, I'm new here, I don't know this. Like that's the best excuse, right? It's just so easy and everybody has to like kind of meet you where you are because you can't know what you don't know, right? Sit in this energy. Try to see everything like it's the first time you're seeing it. Try to understand things as if you had no preconceived understanding or notions about those things, and let yourself re-experience each day, each moment, each relationship you have. So that's the energy to lean into this week, all right? Be a beginner again. And then for an obstacle that we're going to encounter and then overcome this week, we have the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords it's a heavy card in the sense that it's a big moment of transition. You see in this card this family, right? It's an elder with a small child. They look like they're all bundled up and cozying together while somebody then takes them to the other side of this body of water, but they're carrying all these swords in front of them. However, where they're headed looks like a beautiful green place. The larger interpretation of this card is leaving something behind, right? Having to move on, but knowing that on the other side is something good, right? That when we let go of things that are dragging us down or hurting us, we are ultimately helping ourselves, but it doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. And so in this week, you're going to encounter something that you're gonna just have to come to terms with the fact that maybe it's not for you anymore. Typically in swords, it's probably a mindset, right? It's a mindset that you have. I definitely feel like it has to do with your mindset around abundance or then lack thereof in love, friendship, wealth, whatever it is that's really bogging you down right now that you feel like you can't not focus on. You're being asked to shift your mindset in that way, and you're gonna overcome it, but you have to understand that it is something that you need to leave behind, and it hurts. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna feel scary. It's gonna feel like breaking. You're gonna convince yourself that without that mindset, you won't be protected anymore, or that if you ignore that part of you, that it'll slip away and you'll never achieve that thing. That's not true. We need to move on. We need to let the boat carry us to greener pastures, all right? And then we have our King of Pentacles. Love to see her. That's right, I said her. But specifically with the King of Pentacles, this is somebody who has all this incredible resource and learning that they then want to pass down, that they then want to share and give. and lift up those around them with their knowledge and their experience on how they achieved what they did. If I had to translate these into words of affirmation for you, it would be, and this is gonna sound a little wild, this is definitely a abundance mindset pull, but what I'm hearing from this card, from our King of Pentacles, is grab the bull by the horns. I think that that is really the affirmation that I'm pulling out right now, especially when looking at the Page of Pentacles and the Six of Swords, right? Like, there is something scary about being a beginner. There is something scary about letting go of a belief that no longer serves you, that you have let glue together like so many pieces of you for so long, but it's not what serves you anymore and it needs to go. And so when I say grab the bull by the horns, like, it is scary. That is a scary, scary thing to do. But you need to be brave. And I think that you need to be brave to begin something new. You need to be brave in order to let go of something that doesn't serve you anymore, especially when it's a thought that, like, you've really ingrained into your identity at this point. So definitely keep that phrase in mind this week, right? When you need to ground yourself, when you need to come back to what this message is this week, these are your words of affirmation, all right? Grab the bull by the horns, be bold, be brave, and I hope you have a beautiful week. These are our cards. Don't forget it. And I hope you have a lovely one. Thank you.